What's up, family? I'm back with another one. My name is Sean. You already know what it is. Welcome to the channel. It's 4 Hour Films. Appreciate y'all for coming in. Don't forget, before we get into anything, don't forget to hit that like button. Definitely don't forget to subscribe. Listen. I just got finished watching Sonic 3. It's already in the title. This is the third installment in the franchise. We gonna get into it. We got a lot to discuss. Easter eggs, all that stuff, man. Let's get into it. Without further ado. Alright, y'all, so listen, right? Over the last 4 years, well, first things first, Happy New Year. But listen, over the last 4 years, we've gotten three comic book video game adaptations of the Sonic movies that have grossed way more than the budget that they were given, and these things have exceeded far past expectations, blew anything out of the mind, especially this third one. Okay, so we already have a lot of the regular cast returning. Ben Schwartz as Sonic, Colleen Shaughnessy returning as the voice of Tails, Idris Elba returning as the voice of Knuckles. And if you haven't checked out Knuckles' solo series on, what is that? I do believe it's Paramount Plus. Go check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. Definitely, these movies everybody already knows this. These movies themselves, they're already good, but without Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, oh my gosh, man, Jim Carrey, y'all don't understand. Amazing actor, amazing, just the guy's range, everything is just phenomenal. But he returns as well as a couple other characters. Dr. Stone, I forgot his name, but I mean, my bad, not Dr. Stone, Agent Stone, yes. And a few others returning cast. But this time we have an additional Keanu Reeves, man, who plays Shadow the Hedgehog. And me personally, I think that they couldn't have done a better casting choice in regards to who to voice and just embody Shadow of who he is as the complete opposite of Sonic the Hedgehog. So first thing going into this movie, I already had high expectations because I was a big fan of the first and second movie. They did phenomenal jobs with that. But starting off going into this movie, pretty much, if you don't know this already, Sonic 3 was just going to be a live adaptation of the classic video game Sonic Adventures 2. If you haven't played it, I recommend playing it. What can I say? If you haven't played it, that sucks for you. You must have had a horrible childhood. So as I was saying, we get back. We start this movie off with a little sibling rivalry between Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic. They're out in the woods. They're doing a little race. We already know who's going to win the race because everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Tails, tech head, all the gadgets, smarts, all that stuff. Tails blows everybody out the water with that. Knuckles, my boy with the strength. Ain't nobody messing with him with that, and we already know Sonic is the fastest thing alive in this universe. So we see at the end of the race, it's Tom and Maddie. Which is actually crazy. This was a very good change that I like that they did. They did less of the human interaction in regards to a lot of things that was going on in the movie. We barely see Tom and Maddie. I mean, they have their moment, but it was more so a lot more focused on the CGI characters, which, in my opinion, I enjoyed it a whole lot. But as I was saying, we open up to that scene, and then Sonic wins the race, and ironically, it's a surprise part. It's a surprise race that they had set up for Sonic's. What was it? I think it wasn't a birthday. It was like it was like a happy birthday, but it was more so like a happy first day that he came to the earth when they discovered him and everything and stuff like that. So that was a little cute little touch that they added into the movie. Next we move on to Shadow's backstory, Shadow's origin story, as well as Maria. If you already don't know about Shadow's connection to Maria, as well as Gerald Robotnik, who also was played by Jim Carrey in this movie, it's a very tragic Shadow has such a different upbringing and a tragic backstory compared to Sonic. It's somewhat there are somewhat similar parallels, but it is a much more darker. It is a much more darker turn in regards to just their origin stories. Now, and they did change it up, just a little bit, and I do see that fans are divided. Drop in the comments whether you liked the fact that they tweaked his story, the fact that they tweaked his story a little bit, or drop in the comments if you didn't like it. Me personally, I did like it. It didn't bother me that much. It was still good. It still fit into the storyline and everything. Now in the comics, and I apologize. In the comics and also in the video game, Shadow's backstory is more so he was more so of a man-made creation from Gerald Robotnik. And in this movie, they took the route of he's an alien, that he was a meteor that crashed on Earth 50 years ago, and they wanted to, pretty much what they do in a lot of other alien movies of things that crash on planet Earth. They try to learn about it, put it up in a tube, have all these wires and all this stuff connected to it and everything. And Shadow's been asleep for like 50 years. And pretty much while Shadow is being tested on and all this stuff throughout all the years that the gun program has a hold of him and stuff like that, Maria, who is actually Dr. Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter, she's kind of befriended him and kind of is the only person that he has. So with that, they formed this bond and everything together over all of these years. And like I said, if you already know this story, you know what happens to Maria. She ends up getting killed, and that's what ultimately sends Shadow on pretty much such a darker path. And the way that they adapted all of this into the movie, it was such a beautiful thing to watch. Me personally, I enjoyed every bit of it. I ate all of it up. It was such a beautiful thing to watch, and it was also we really didn't. It wasn't like they oversaturated. It wasn't like they oversaturated or they overdid it. They did just enough so that people who didn't know the story, you got to the point. You got a little bit of the backstory and then straight to the point. They knew exactly what it was. Move on from there. Fast forward in the movie, we're at the point where Tails and Sonic and Knuckles, they're all being attacked by Dr. Robotnik's robots. But the thing is, it's not Dr. Robotnik's. Somebody has taken over Dr. Robotnik's tech. And we get a dope motorcycle scene of a mysterious character who shows up and takes all of the robots out. And the ironic, funny thing is that the character that was revealed to be this person was Agent Stone. Agent Stone finally had his time to shine, and boy, let me tell you, it was not a letdown at all. But after that Agent Stone scene, we cut to the first encounter in between Sonic, in between Team Sonic versus Shadow. This isn't the final battle, but it was the first encounter. And boy, let me tell you, Shadow was handing out butt whoopings as if he was like a Jehovah Witness or something like that. You know how Jehovah Witnesses come to your door and they be handing out pamphlets and everything and stuff like that? That's exactly what Shadow was doing. He was like, just like Oprah, you get a butt whooping. You get a butt whooping. Everybody get a butt whooping. Yo, I swear, it was so much nostalgia watching all of this, yo. The thing is that he did it with so much ease. Like the directors and especially Keanu Reeves' voice, they just captured everything about Shadow. The darkness, like the broodiness, like the bruteness about him. He was excuse me. Everything. just for now. So we fast forward to see, to finally get the reveal of Gerald Robotnik and also and Dr. Eggman. Pretty much they have a team up, well, which we already know, everybody knew from the trailers and everything, that both of these characters were both going to be played by Jim Carrey. Once again, who did a great job. Jim Carrey and his chemistry with himself. With himself, yo. I don't know too many actors who can have chemistry with themselves, but Jim Carrey does it in such a way. And also keep in mind that this was a movie for children. Granted, no, well, it was a movie for children, but at the same time, this movie was really for us millennials and everything who grew up playing Sonic games, watching Sonic X and all that other stuff. Sonic Heroes, Sonic Unleashed. I can name you Sonic games for days that I played. But his chemistry, with and the way he plays Gerald Robotnik, pretty much everybody thought that he was just going to be another goofball, just like how Dr. Robotnik is. But no, Gerald Robotnik was more of the serious version of Dr. Robotnik, who did in fact have an ulterior motive. Who had an ulterior motive than what Dr. Robotnik had, and just trying to figure out who was using his tech or whatever and stuff like that, and trying to get back on the Gun Corporation, who took away Maria and Shadows and pretty much who locked up Shadow and everything. Now, as we jump to the end of the movie, this is where everything just blew all expectations out of the water. I can tell you right now, if you were a Dragon Ball Z fan, and I'm talking about that like when Dragon Ball Z first came out, the first fight in between Frieza and Goku, or even just Vegeta versus Goku, this is where it shines, because everybody knows that Sonic takes a little bit from Dragon Ball Z. In regards to Super Sonic, you see both characters, they both turn both of their hairs, they all turn yellow when they get a hold of the Chaos Emeralds and stuff like that. This is where they really understood the characters in regards to their speed and their strengths and everything, and where they shined the most. The fight scene in between this, I can't show it, but listen, yo, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in regards to this movie. Drop in the comments what was your favorite part about this movie. Certain Easter eggs that I may not have mentioned in regards to this movie. But yeah, the last ending fight. Man, amazing. Like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mess around and I'm gonna end up rewatching this movie right after the end of this video. That's exactly what's gonna happen, because I watched when the first Sonic movie came out. When the first Sonic movie came out, and that ending scene versus Dr. Robotnik and his spaceship, where Sonic was just bouncing off everything. That reminds me so much of the first level of the Sonic video games. And yo, when I tell you this third one, oh my gosh, I felt like I'm sitting here about to get ready to fight in space too, and then the little Easter egg thing where they did the Adventure 2 title screen. Yo, oh my gosh, yo, let me tell you something, man. The people, and then the post-credit scene, the post-credit scene, they revealed Metal Sonic as well as Amy Rose. I can't wait to see what they do in Sonic 4. I think we're supposed to be getting, like, I think 3 more movies. But it was fantastic. Definitely something that I would recommend for you to watch with your kids. Even if not with your kids, you can watch it by yourself. It is a very enjoyable movie. Listen, y'all already know what it is. Go check out the movie, whether you can see it however you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it illegally, If you're gonna, but I personally would advise you. This is definitely a movie to watch in theaters, y'all. You already know what it is. My name is Sean. Thank you for coming to the channel. It's 4 Hour Films. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment in the comment section. I would love to interact with you guys. See y'all at the next one, man.